through a friend, and actually I kept hearing a bunch of people talking about MySpace and saying, yeah, I saw this really cute guy on MySpace. And I was like, what the f*** is he talking about? And then finally I typed in MySpace.com, and I saw it, and I was like, I don't even know what this is. I literally had no idea what the concept was. And so I went to the website and I signed up for it, and then I found out that you actually create a profile for yourself, and you can like email in and out of it, and you can network out of it. So I was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. I think MySpace is a completely addicting phenomenon, I guess, for like a lot of people. I know a lot of people, like, that's what they think about when they're driving home from work, is I've got to check my MySpace. Or they are shopping at the mall and they think I've got to get home and check my MySpace. And that sounds really silly and crazy, but I actually know people that have said things like that and have done things like that. Personally, me, I'm not addicted to it, but the fact that I check it about 3 times a day, I mean, I don't know. I would probably check my normal email that many times a day anyway. But it is, I guess, more exciting to check it. It hasn't created an addiction for me, but I certainly see huge addiction in a lot of people. The fact that sometimes when when I get on and I see that people have posted blogs all day long, they have like 40 blogs that they've posted within a matter of 2 days, and it's like, starts at like 8 o'clock in the morning and it ends at like midnight, and it's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock blog. So that's when it's kind of scary, when you can actually see that people have been getting online every hour, on the hour, typing blog messages on MySpace. I think that's kind of, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, because to each his own, but I definitely think that it's created an addiction, just like drugs for some people, because that's what they think about. They have to add more friends, they have to see what friends have commented on their pictures, they have to see how many people they can get added to their friends list in a matter of an hour or two, you know. And I think that's kind of weird, not in a bad way, like I'm judging them, but I certainly I'm not that obsessed with MySpace. Actually, I saw a special on Dateline, and they included a lot about MySpace, where the contrast between the young and the old people that are on MySpace, they were actually hooking up, and they were like 60-year-old men visiting 14-year-old boys and girls' houses. I thought that was kind of scary, and I think that they should definitely do something to limit the type of conversations that go on MySpace. And I don't want to say limit, because I'm not the kind of person that's about constricting or like censoring people's freedom of speech, but when it comes to a 60-year-old man and a 14-year-old boy or girl, that's kind of inappropriate. And but I definitely think that, you know, it's neat that there are people of all ages that are able to talk. Not necessarily the bad parts, but the fact that a 60-year-old man can contact whoever he wants and have conversation with whoever he wants. So that's kind of a good thing, and it's a bad thing, and it all goes hand in hand, just like everything else. But I definitely think there should be some kind of restrictions that go on to the conversations that are happening on MySpace and the type of relationships people have been developing from MySpace. I think it's also strange that there are animals on MySpace. I get added every day. I shouldn't say every day, but I get added every few days by squirrels, by cats, by clowns, by crazy trannies. And I think it's bizarre that people actually spend hours on the internet as a cat and will purr on your MySpace, and they will leave messages about how they just scratched up their kitty litter box. And I don't know, that's kind of strange to me. Those are the kind of people that I feel like are going to show up on my doorstep with a cat suit on, telling me that they're from MySpace. So animals on MySpace, that's kind of bizarre, and those people may need to get a life. But if I had to sum up MySpace in one sentence, wow. MySpace is taking over the world.
Well, she's a little half Filipino girl, and we're having a baby in May, a little baby boy, and we're trying to decide between whether we want to name him Charlie Brown or Dylan Alexander. One is kind of a prestigious name, but one will make him an artist. So it'll be cool. She's a casual MySpacer, but she's more of a Zanga girl. It's kind of silly, because I never realized you could classify people by which networking site they like to go to. But yeah, she was like, I went through, and you know how you can do a search for specific things that you want in a person. Like I went through and searched for everyone 18 to 25 when I was in a band called Someone Small. Everyone that was 18 to 25, and I added them all as my friends that were in this 7-5 within like 50 miles of here. They could come to our shows, and then I sent out an invite to them to come to one of our shows, and she is one of 2 people that responded to that invite. She said she'd be there, but she never showed up. But when I added her as my friends, MySpace used to be where you could edit your top 8. It just was randomized, and they would just pick top 8 of your friends. And she was always in my top 8, just moving around. So then after she responded and she didn't come to the show, I didn't talk to her for probably another month and a half. And then I was at a New Year's Eve party hanging out with some friends, and I saw her laughing, and that's because in her MySpace picture she was always laughing, and I was like, I know that girl. And I walked up to her and I said, MySpace? She's like, oh! And then that was all I said to her. And then the next, 2 days later, I emailed her and was like, that was kind of weird seeing you there. And I said, but we should definitely get together and hang out, because, Mormons should hang out together. It's cool. And she was like, definitely, but I moved to Utah. Like, the day after I saw her, she moved to Utah for school. But then her mom was American, so she flew back down every weekend and we met each other, January 1st, and we got married March 25th. So 2 months, 3-week plans for the wedding. Yeah, and now we have a baby boy on the way, and it's a good life. I think that anything, as for the cons, I think that anything that allows you to be in touch with so many people in so many different facets of life can be overwhelming if you're not careful. I think that's the case with anything. Just like when chat lines first started getting big, I remember, and I remember it almost tore my family apart. My dad and mom, they were on chat lines at opposite ends of the day or opposite ends of the house the whole time, and like they just weren't spending time together and talking to each other. And that's one of the downsides, I think, is that it kind of depersonalizes us with people. Like, how many times do we go out, through the weekend to find something to do because we are sitting at home chatting on and doing email and stuff. And as for me, and a personality type like me and my friend Josh, my bandmate, me and him, that's what we used to find people to go out and hang out with. So it matters how you use it and how much self-control you have, really, I think. It's a big part of it. One sentence, MySpace? MySpace is MySpace.
We'd actually been a band for a little bit before that, but we weren't actually a full band when we started it. Because we didn't get a bass player until August, and then we didn't start playing shows till September. So it wasn't actually really a functional page until about September, but we've had it up since July.
Yeah, we use to promote ourselves. We've got songs up there for people to listen to, pictures, so they can check those out. All our upcoming shows are listed on there. Send out invites and stuff like that. So
I don't actually go to my personal one very much anymore because I have to spend so much time on ours. I'm just sick of it, you know, by the time I'm done with the band one. But, you know, my wife's a little bit addicted to it. Like, when I'm working for the, you know, doing band stuff, she's like, well, when are you getting off? I need to check my, you know, my MySpace. Like, no, you don't need to check your MySpace. Like, it'll be there, you know, when I'm done with it. But, you know, I'm relatively addicted to our bands, but I mean, I kind of brush it off as like, you know, well, you know, I got to promote the band. It's what I need to do, you know.
Yeah.
And so it kind of, it's a healthy addiction, I guess, because, you know, somebody's got to do it. And so, but I've kind of just stopped going to mine altogether because I don't want to spend, you know, any more time on the computer than I have to. So, but
I'm on there quite a bit just to avoid working. Well, on the band's page too. Let's show this to my
I'm on
boss.
a lot. They actually just outlawed it at work. Just as of yesterday, you can no longer. I was like, type it, and it's like deny. I was like, crap.
That's one thing
Try
that's
to
really
get-
interesting about it now is that it's so early on that it hasn't really been corrupted by anything. It's like, I mean, they just caught on to it at your work, but soon it's gonna get way too big and then it's gonna get shut down.
they're doing news stories and stuff on it now on Fox Sports.
Yeah.
My dad, in fact, I was telling my dad, we were having dinner the other night, and I was actually talking to him about what I've been doing with the band, how we promote it and stuff like that. And I mentioned MySpace, and he was like, "Oh, is that the website that all the perverts go to look for little girls?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I guess that's how they're pushing it, you know, because that's what the news is all saying or whatever." But I mean, that's kind of unfortunate because it's a really small percentage of people that are, you know, doing that. And I mean, you're supposed to be 18 to be on that thing.
Yeah,
anyway, so
Supposed to be 18.
It's funny though when I was telling my
nudity
family
allowed.
members-
It should be a real, I don't know, I guess wholesome site, but
you can't really know. You can't really
Anything.
regulate that kind of thing. I can sum it up in a few sentences. If that's okay. I just think it's. I mean, it's a good promotional tool, especially for bands, and you know, I hope it doesn't get a bad rap. You know, for the with a few people who are, you know, using it, you know, for something that it doesn't need to be used for. And you know, hopefully more people, you know, will start realizing that it's okay for bands to contact them. That's what it's for.
Maybe it's some self-fulfillment that they have a gajillion friends.
That's
And
also what a friend collector is.
I'm not quite sure what a friend collector is. So I wouldn't be able to comment on a friend collector.
Tom's a tool. And, you know, you send him a message like, and it's like, are you supposed to be like, you're supposed to have an orgasm because he's your friend?
so you can find the angry ones.
No, I remember it.
I hate getting from bands I don't know unless they're local. So you guys were here to test a giant butthole. I'm sorry. It's not even really good grammar, is it? That we're giant buttholes.
That's my MySpace story. If you're not MySpace, you're just spacing.